Can you tell what happened by the look on my face? I got Dodger with me, but Echo took off. I didn't see what he took off after. Let me tell you, I got this tracker on him. I freaking love this thing. The battery life is crazy on it. I'm tracking him right now. So this is just gonna be a real quick video because I gotta get Dodger back to camp. And then I think I gotta get in the truck because it's showing me where he took off to. And it's like, I was gonna try and hike after him, but he's already so far away from me. And it shows me him running and it says, oh, he's going 11 miles an hour. That's how fast he's running through the woods. And he's like way out there. So he chased probably an antelope. I kind of know the area where it says he is, but I gotta get back on this app and take a look at it. I will try to take some video of me using the app so you can kind of see how this process works. But this is kind of hectic for me. This is gonna be like the first time I actually like capture him after he takes off like that. I can't believe it. I'm upset, but I do not feel nearly as worried as I usually do. So this tracker is like changing the game for me. You know, when you have a bad dog, and he's a good dog, but he's a bad dog right now. Something like this tracker thing, it's like so much peace of mind. But I gotta get Dodger back to camp. All right, we're in the truck. I got Dodger in the trailer. I gave him water and stuff. It's a little hot today. We were kind of cooped up, and that's part of the reason why Echo is being so bad right now. This is gonna be kind of fun, you know, hopefully everything goes smoothly. Because with this tracker, I can see exactly where he is. Like, this is like, I've never felt like this before when he's taken off. And Echo is a really good dog. Don't tell him I said that, but he's a really good dog, except when there's deer and there are antelope around here and elk. And he has chased coyote a couple times. He's gonna get all beat up and stuff like that. And this is actually an area where he's been lost before overnight. This is a good test. I'm gonna get back on that tracker and I'm gonna drive to where he is. It's about a mile from here. And we're gonna catch him and he's gonna be surprised. This is crazy. This is such a weird feeling. You can see me driving on the road and then he's kind of coming down. He's not coming back towards camp. I thought he was coming back towards camp, but he's coming back down. And so he's kind of a little bit far off of a road. And so I'm kind of thinking I should just go to this spot in the road where it looks like his path is going to intersect. And then he should cross right in front of me if he keeps going in that same direction. I mean, this is just crazy. I got to turn around and see if we can cut him off at the pass. This is crazy. I can just watch him. You can see him going across that field. I'm like, oh yeah, he's going straight down that field, coming down towards this road. Let's see if we can find him. He's heading back to our old camp where we've camped before. Yeah. So I think I got to talk to these people and tell them. Okay, look who I found. He was going right to their camp. And Echo, stay with me. Come on. Yeah, he remembered our old camp. And so that's where he was heading. Let's look at this guy here. Echo, you stay with me. Come on. Echo. This way. See, he doesn't know where to go. He's like trying to go back to our old camp. We camped at this site. It's right back there last year. And now we're camped about a mile from there. So it's kind of funny that that's where he went. He went back to this camp. And there are people camped there. And so all I could do was, I was like, oh, my dog's about to come into their camp. So all I can do is, you know, wave at them from a distance and say, hey, neighbor. And the guy waved back. So I was like, okay, he's not going to shoot me. Echo, get in the truck. And see, now he listens to me. Echo up. So I waved to the guy and I was like, hey, my dog's about to come into your camp. He's friendly. I'm tracking him right now. And so I just looks like some doofus, you know, with my phone out, looking at my phone, coming into this guy's camp. And then Echo comes up behind me. I can kind of hear him jingling behind me. Then yeah, he comes up like right behind me. So that tracker, I mean, it freaking works. The thing that is the hardest is if he's not near a road, you know, then you have to determine, okay, like, do I want to park here and get out and hike after him? Because what if he changes directions? Then I could just be hiking for a long time. So heading him off at a road, you know, looking to see what road he's going to cross next and then hoping that that's where he goes. So that seems like the best way to go. You know, if there's roads around where you can take your vehicle. And let's look at this tracker here and see if it held up. That is one of the main concerns that I had about this tracker is it comes with this kind of like rubber bandy thing. And yeah, it's holding up just fine. But you can see it's just these like 3 rubber bands. It's actually just 1 rubber band with these 3 like rubber hooks on it. And that's all that's holding it on. If you just pull these tabs up, then the whole tracker will come off. That's the unit. And if you saw on the screen recording that I was doing, it's got about 60% battery life left on it. And I charged it probably 5 days ago, something like that. It lasts about 2 weeks, the way I use it. Now, if you have a house and you have a Wi-Fi setup, it should last about a month, apparently, the battery life. But for my purposes, it gets down to about 20-30% after about 2 weeks. And at that point, I want to definitely recharge it because if he gets lost, I want it to have enough battery life so it doesn't run out while he's lost. That is a weird feeling, like when your dog runs off and you know exactly where he is. Like I can just see him and I knew exactly where he was the whole time. It took me a couple times. Every time I tried to do the live tracking where it shows you the blue line, it takes a couple times to lock onto the GPS signal. You know, we got a lot of trees around here. So, you know, but each time it only took like 30 seconds. I think one time it took about a minute before it locked on and would give me the live tracking. And then it plots every couple seconds where he is. So you can just see him moving along. And it tells you the speed that he's going. And that's just a crazy feature that it tells you like if he's running or if he's walking. And I could see him slowing down. I'm like, okay, he's not chasing anything now. He's probably walking towards camp or trying to get back to camp because he's tired. He's done chasing, basically. Let's get back to camp, Echo. Here, Echo. Why are you so thirsty? I hope that was fun for y'all, like seeing me a little bit frantic, you know. It's not so much that I was worried, there's a lot to do. Like I had to make sure I had water in my pack, make sure I had a battery for my phone in my pack. And I wanted to take my pack because it's got my survival kit and I was figuring I was gonna have to hike around for him. And so I wanted to have that all with me. I had to set up Dodger in the trailer because it's a little hot. So I wanted to turn the fan on, make sure he had water because we had just gotten back from a walk. They're expecting dinner right now. So it was more like I had all these things to do, so I'm kind of rushing around. At the same time, trying to record this for y'all so you can see what it's really like doing the screen recording and watching it myself, watching the live tracking and getting that all set up. And then deciding, like trying to figure out how am I gonna do this? Am I gonna hike around and find him? Should I take the truck? So I had to just do all that stuff like really quick. But man, that tracker is freaking awesome. It's freaking awesome. And it's actually really inexpensive. I paid the full price, but they had a button on there. If you click it, you get 20 bucks off. So I think I paid 70 and it should have been like 50 bucks. But I don't care. 70 bucks plus it's like 8 bucks a month, something like that, 8 or 9 bucks a month for the tracking service. It's like, it's totally worth it. It's like totally worth it. Why would he go back to our old camp from last year? It's interesting. It's really interesting how dogs work. All right, we'll get back to camp and I'm gonna feed these guys and then I'll talk a little bit more about this tracker. I just need to kind of chill out for a minute. I'll show you where we where we're camped. This is the main road out here, the main dirt road. And then we're set back off of it. Like this is our little driveway here into our camp. And it's a pretty dusty road, which is the only bad thing about this area. Other than that, this area is so awesome. And then right up there is where I was hiking with Dodger and Echo, and then Echo took off. And we had gone pretty far, so I had to hike all the way back to the trailer with Dodger. And he's not super fast, so I tried to get back to camp as quick as I could so we could get in the truck. But this is just a beautiful, beautiful camp. He ate his food so fast. And Dodger was just chilling when we got back. He was just waiting for his food. I want to give a shout out to one of the subscribers of the channel. I met Zigzag in Quartzsite a few months ago, and I met his dog, and man, his dog was kind of scary. He had this little tiny dog, and he was like holding it back basically so it wouldn't bite me. I mean, it was a little dog, but it's like one of those kind of dogs you definitely don't want to get latched onto you. But on his dog, he had a tracker, and it was a different brand than what I'm using on Mr. Echo right now. But I didn't really have any understanding of how those trackers worked. And so he really filled me in, and I started researching it and looking it up. And that really spurred the idea for me that there's something out there that I could get that would work to track my dog when he takes off like that. I gotta put my trusty cup on my hitch right now. Here, I'll show you. Because it's greasy, you know, so I always take this off like when I hit the road. I took it off when I went going after Mr. Echo. But now that I'm sitting here in the tailgate of the truck talking to y'all, I got to put it back on because else I'll get a big grease mark on my shorts. That's a Nomad tip. So Zigzag, thanks for filling me in on that, because you know I didn't end up getting the same brand that you got. You told me some of the good things and bad things about it. This one here, I'm going to put a link to it down in the description. They're not sponsoring me. They should. They really should. I want them to, because I kind of want to get one for a Dodger. You know, he doesn't run off, but he's getting older, so he could kind of wander off. But I have no problem vouching for my experience so far with the tracker that Mr. Echo's wearing. Oh, that's a good shot. You can see it on him right there. It's kind of big and chunky. They have a few different versions. Like they have a smaller one with a shorter battery life. They have one that's like fiberglass. It's like stronger, whatever. This one is waterproof. And like I was saying, if you have a Wi-Fi setup at your house, you're going to get a lot more options and longer battery life, that kind of thing. But for my use out here, it's really just those moments when he takes off, just like you saw, that I need to hit that button and start tracking him right away. That's pretty much the only function that I really, really need. And I paid ahead of time, a year, and like I said, I think it was $9 a year, something like that, when you pay for a year in advance. And it gets cheaper, you know, the more years you pay ahead of time. You can also just pay month to month, whatever. I'm gonna have to look over him for injuries, because he went pretty far. I can't believe how far away he went, and how quick. And the fastest I saw him being tracked there was 11 miles an hour. And through this kind of terrain, like, I mean, that's pretty fast. The dogs and I live out here full time. Like, we're in nature, we're in natural wild places. I think out in the open desert, this tracker is going to work, I mean, in a sense, even better, because it won't ever get blocked by trees. I tend to camp only where there is a decent cell signal. But the thing about this tracker, apparently, it doesn't matter what company, whether it's Verizon or AT&T or T-Mobile or whatever company is accessible in that area. All it needs is any cell signal. And for my purposes, like, because I have a trailer, I don't get super, super deep into the woods. But I mean, I'm right now, I'm 4 miles off of the freeway. So it's nothing but trees and and forest land all the way to the main freeway. And out here I get kind of a decent cell signal, but it's not the best. Like, I can't upload videos from here. Just to give you kind of an idea of the kind of services this thing needs to work. I would say everywhere I camp, I think this thing is gonna work no matter what. It says it needs a clear view of the sky to get the GPS signal, because it needs both of those to do the tracking. But all the tests I've done, it's flawless. I'm so impressed by this thing. The only bias that I have is I just found my dog. And I mean, you all know like how good that can make you feel. And that makes me feel so good. I don't have to spend all day and all night worrying about him. I mean, he's right here. It's crazy. We live out in the deserts and mountains. If that tracker works for us, then imagine like people that live in neighborhoods. I'm so impressed. I want to give a shout out to Lenny Living Life. Lenny donated us some cash. That was super nice. Anytime you guys do stuff like that, like, it just gives me like this extra push. Like, okay, I'm gonna make a couple more videos, like a little bit more on a little bit more regular basis. Like, it gets me excited because I know people are feeling the vibes I'm trying to create with some of my videos. This video is a little different because, you know, sorry about the shaky cam and like I didn't compose any shots. I just kind of held up my camera and just tried to record best I could what was actually happening, so you could get a feel for what was happening. But when you guys just leave me nice comments or even critical comments that help me out, like, that motivates me too. And when you hit that like button, let us know you're watching. We like to know you're watching. That is very motivational. So thanks, Lenny. I really appreciate it. The last time Mr. Echo ran away, you saw that video, and that was the moment that I bought the tracker, because I get so worried. And I was standing out there in the middle of the field just like looking out for him. I got my binoculars out and I was looking for him. I couldn't see anything. It was an open field. I was looking at all the edges of the field. I didn't see him at all. And I said, you know what? I have a cell signal out here. I'm going to pull up my phone right now and I'm going to order that damn tracker. And that's what I did. And now, right now, it's completely paying off. This was the first authentic test. And I'm so happy. I'm so happy. I'm going to check you for wounds now, buddy. Let's see what kind of wounds you got. He had a pretty bad busted nail last time. Now he's got some holes in his paws. That's pretty typical. See those two raw spots there on his pads? They don't look that bad. They didn't fall off. They're not bloody, so that's fine. A little bit there. There's a lot of rocks out there, so I'm really surprised he's not bloody. Okay, let's look at this one. Yeah, it's not bad. He's a little pink there. A lot of times he'll get blood right there. He'll get a cut right there. So it must have been a deer or an antelope that he was chasing after. And this thing held up. I've had it for a month now, and I've only charged it. I charged it the first day I got it, and then I've only charged it once since then. Here's something cool too. Look at this. You can see the whole route that Mr. Echo took. This thing records every like 5 minutes. It'll automatically plot where he is no matter what. Unless he's sleeping, then it'll stop plotting points. But 24 hours a day, it'll plot where he is. So when we go on walks and stuff like that, I can look back and see where we went. That's not the live tracking. The live tracking tracks like every 2 seconds, but that uses more battery. So you just kind of turn that on, you know, when you need it, basically when he runs off.